personal, that's wrong. Remember, it's personnel director of the company regarding the speed course's ability to increase it has several obvious and significant problems. At least the following three questions need to have valid answers. This is a run-on sentence, everybody. So this right here is a run-on. Remember what a run-on is. A run-on is when you have two independent clauses. So here's the first clause right here. This is the second clause right here. And notice what's in the middle, just a comma. So what are we missing? We're missing what we call a conjunction or the proper punctuation here. So I would just put a but or so, something like that. At least the following three questions need to have valid answers if the recommendation is to hold logical. So this right here is another deadly sin. Deadly sin. You hold a noun, not an adjective. So notice he's using the word, or she, I don't know, is using the word logical. But this should be a noun. Okay, so let's change it to water right there. So this is a pretty good introduction in terms of structure. I like this introduction in terms of structure. But we have two pretty significant deadly sins. We also have the misspelling of the word personnel right there. First of all, the most obvious question that needs to be answered is, this right here is another mistake. So this thing right here, see, this is called a colon. You must have an independent clause before the colon. That means a complete sentence. Is not the recommendation based on scanty and potentially unreliable sources. Just because many other companies have experienced it, is it not erroneous to say that acting will experience that good? Furthermore, the director draws his conclusion citing one easy read, is that what it's called? Easy read graduate? Easy read, speed reading, okay, that's fine. Ability to read a hundred no choice, another graduate. Perhaps these two people are atypical, or perhaps they were already high speed readers. I like all this. This is pretty good, but I don't like this. Like, what exactly is going on in this topic sentence? First of all, the most obvious question that needs to be answered is not the recommendation based on scanty and potentially unreliable sources. Are these sources? Sources are like the New York Times or journal articles or stuff like that. These are not sources. These are more like examples or anecdotal information or exceptions. So I don't like the way this topic sentence set up this body paragraph. Because to me, when I read unreliable sources, I'm thinking things like blog posts. Oops, sorry about that. I'm thinking things like blog posts or your neighbor who's really into like alternative medicine. You know, these are unreliable sources. I remember one time I was having a conversation with somebody and everything was going normal. And then just out of nowhere, just all these conspiracy theories started coming up. And whenever I hear something like that, that's when I'm thinking unreliable source. So I like all of this. All of this is good, and the writing's good as well. I don't like that right there. Okay. Secondly, the next obvious question is to ask whether the other companies are from the same industry. Reading is a highly demanded skill for a publishing company. Hence, if the other companies are not from the same industry, then even if the insufficient data is not considered an error, relying on those data would most likely provide a skewed result. Again, pretty good writing, pretty good writing. For instance, if most of the other companies are from the automobile industry where intensive reading is not required, then comparing the productivity increase of the employees would be good. I like this. I like that example. I think this one's better. I think this is a better body paragraph. I think this is a better body because of the better topic sentence. It says from the same industry. Notice that all of this is about that idea. So I think this is a more successful body paragraph. We have to be careful, though, of interjecting our own opinion in here. I believe that this person did not cross the line, but you still have to be careful here. Reading is a highly demanded skill. This is veering into your personal opinion, so be careful with this stuff. All right, finally, our speed reading and high information absorption rate reflective. Good. This I like this. That's a good one right there. Certainly not. Productivity encompasses a wide variety of other factors. See this like certainly not. See how we're getting into our opinion. What is this? This appears to be like an attempt to show me how clever the writing is. It seems to move away from academic writing. Academic writing is not to entertain me or to have kind of these clever little quips. You know, we're not Mark Twain, guys. You know, we're not writing some satirical novel here. Okay, so this little what I would call a gratuitous inclusion of show-off writing, I guess would be the way I put it. So avoid this kind of stuff if you can in academic writing. Okay, imagine if you read this in a journal article. You know, you're reading some like reputable professor from Harvard, and then in the journal article, out of nowhere, he's like, certainly not, as a sentence. Productivity encompasses a wide variety of other factors. Again, we're veering into opinion here. We're veering into opinion. We have to be careful here. We're not writing kind of a paper giving our own perspective here. Okay? Hence, even if the speed reading course is good enough to improve, that's a weird hyphen, is good enough to improve the reading speed of a person, it might not necessarily result in an increased overall productivity of the employees in the work as field. Consequently, the director needs to provide more proven records of speed reading's connection with higher productivity. Okay, so the score that I would give this, everybody, is a 4.5. A 4.5. I think the computer would give it a 5.0. I think the human would give it a 4.0. Um, there might be a possibility that this gets a 5, but I don't think so. So this might get a 5.0, but I don't think so. I also don't think it's a 4. I think it's a little bit better than that. Okay, so my guess is 4.5. Okay, any questions about this one?